It was a bright morning in New York City, and the world was moving as it always did. Cars rushed through the streets, people hurried to work, and children laughed on their way to school. No one knew that this would be the last normal day Earth would ever see. At exactly 12:03 p.m., everything changed. The sun vanished behind something huge, something that covered the sky from one horizon to the other. People stopped and looked up. The sky turned dark like midnight, and silence spread through the streets. There were no clouds, no storms, just a giant shadow hanging above the world. Phones stopped working, radios went silent, and airplanes fell from the sky. Panic began to spread faster than fire. Governments all over the world tried to contact whoever or whatever had arrived. Satellites were aimed toward the dark shapes in the sky, but no signal came back. Then suddenly, every screen on Earth flickered on, from the smallest phone to the biggest digital billboard. A strange voice spoke, cold and deep, in a language no one understood. Moments later, the words changed to English. "Earth, your time is over." The message repeated in every language known to mankind. And then, without warning, the alien ships attacked. Blue beams of light shot down from the dark clouds, cutting through skyscrapers like knives. Entire cities were destroyed in seconds. The ocean boiled in places where the beams hit the water. Humanity had no defense. No one even knew who the attackers were. The skies above Tokyo, London, and Washington burned. The world had never seen anything like it. Among the chaos was Dr. Alan Reyes, a scientist working for a small defense research facility in the Nevada desert. He wasn't a soldier, just a man who studied signals from space. He had always believed humans were not alone in the universe, but he never imagined the first contact would be a war. He watched the destruction on his monitor, unable to do anything. His colleague, Mia Patel, burst into the lab, shouting, "They've taken down every satellite. We can't see anything anymore." Dr. Reyes ran to his console and tried to trace the origin of the alien signal, but everything was jammed. The more he tried, the more his screens went dark. Then, just as he thought everything was lost, he noticed something strange. One signal was still active. It was not coming from the aliens. It was coming from deep underground. "That's impossible," he whispered. The signal was unlike anything he had ever seen. It wasn't man-made, and it wasn't alien. It pulsed with a slow, steady rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. "Mia," he said quietly, "something from Earth is responding." Outside, the sky flashed again. Another wave of destruction hit the cities, and the ground shook. The lab's lights flickered. Reyes quickly saved the data before the power went out completely. "We have to go," Mia shouted as explosions echoed in the distance. They ran to the shelter, but Reyes couldn't stop thinking about the signal. Why now? Why was it waking up? In the darkness of the underground shelter, he made one last recording on his old data recorder. His voice trembled, but he spoke clearly. "If anyone finds this, know that Earth was not the aggressor. We didn't start this. But something ancient has started to answer back. I don't know what it is, but it's coming from the planet's core." Above ground, the world burned. Millions screamed for help that would never come. The alien ships continued to strike with precision, destroying everything that moved. The blue beams carved deep scars into the Earth's surface. Yet, deep below, in the quiet of the planet's mantle, the strange signal grew stronger. It began to echo through radio waves, through magnetic fields, through the hearts of machines still left running. For a brief moment, one of the alien ships above South America paused. Its lights flickered. Inside the alien command center, a tall figure hissed in confusion as his screens filled with static. "Something is interfering," one of the aliens said in their harsh metallic voice. "From below the surface." The commander looked uneasy. "Destroy it," he ordered. But it was too late. The signal was spreading faster than they could react. Dr. Reyes and Mia felt a deep rumble under their feet. The walls shook, dust falling from the ceiling. Mia grabbed his arm, eyes wide with fear. "What's happening?" she cried. Reyes stared at his tablet, where the signal waveform now glowed brighter than ever. "It's alive," he whispered. "The signal, it's alive." The rumbling grew louder, and for a second, the ground itself seemed to breathe. Outside, storm clouds twisted unnaturally, as if drawn toward one point in the sky. The alien ships hovered uncertainly, sensing something they couldn't understand. Reyes looked up through the small window of the shelter. For the first time since the invasion began, the sky wasn't just dark, it was glowing with a strange blue light, rising from the earth itself. The light spread across the continents, pulsing like veins of energy. The aliens froze. The world held its breath. Dr. Reyes whispered to himself, "Something is waking up." And somewhere deep within the Earth's core, far below the reach of man or alien, an ancient presence opened its eyes for the first time in millions of years. It had been sleeping, waiting for the day it would be needed again. That day had come. The darkness above trembled. The earth was no longer silent. The night after the sky went dark, the world had changed forever. Fires burned in the distance, and the sky still glowed faintly blue. The alien ships floated silently now, as if watching, waiting. In the underground shelter, Dr. Alan Reyes sat beside the flickering light of a dying generator, staring at the strange signal on his tablet. It had not stopped. In fact, it was growing stronger. Every few minutes, the frequency shifted, as if the signal was learning, adapting, almost trying to speak. Mia Patel paced behind him, her voice tense. "Alan, the power cells won't last much longer. We need to move." Reyes didn't respond at first. He couldn't take his eyes off the data. "It's coming from beneath us, Mia. Somewhere deep under Nevada. The readings show it's at least 30 kilometers down." Mia frowned. "That's impossible. There's nothing down there but rock." Reyes slowly shook his head. "Not anymore." Outside, distant thunder rolled across the desert. The air was heavy, charged with static. The alien ships were still in the sky, unmoving, but their presence could be felt like a weight pressing on the world. Reyes packed what equipment he could carry: his recorder, a portable scanner, and a few batteries. "We need to reach the old mine tunnels," he said. "If this signal is coming from underground, that's our best chance to trace it." Mia hesitated but nodded. "If we die down there, I'm blaming you." They left the shelter just before dawn. The sun was weak, hidden behind strange dark clouds that refused to move. The once busy highway was silent, covered in dust and ashes. Wrecked cars lined the road, their windows shattered. The world felt like it was holding its breath. As they walked, the ground trembled softly beneath their feet. Every few minutes, the signal pulsed through Reyes's scanner, like a heartbeat from below. "It's stronger," he said quietly. "We're getting closer." They reached the entrance to the old Silver Ridge mine by midday. The tunnels were abandoned decades ago, stretching deep into the earth. Reyes activated a small light, and they stepped inside. The deeper they went, the more the air changed. It felt warmer, denser, almost alive. The walls hummed faintly. Mia ran her hand over the rock and pulled back in shock. "It's vibrating." Reyes aimed his scanner at the wall. "The signal is moving through the ground itself. It's using the planet's crust as a conductor." 4 hours, they followed the tunnels, guided only by the pulsing sound from Reyes's device. The signal was no longer just data. It sounded like a slow, deep rhythm, almost like a voice hidden inside static. After what felt like forever, they reached a large open chamber deep beneath the mine. In the center was a massive stone slab covered in strange carvings. The carvings were old, so old they looked like they were made before history even began. Reyes knelt and wiped away dust. The symbols glowed faintly blue under his light. Mia whispered, "What is this?" Reyes traced one of the carvings with his finger. "I think this is the source. The signal is coming from right beneath this chamber." Suddenly, the ground shook violently. Dust rained down from the ceiling. Mia stumbled, and Reyes grabbed her arm. The hum grew louder, filling the air like a deep roar. Then, The stone slab cracked down the middle, and a wave of blue light burst out, lighting the entire chamber. The scanner in Reyes's hand went crazy. "It's responding to us," he shouted. Mia covered her ears as the hum turned into a deep, rhythmic pulse. The light filled their vision, and for a moment, they could see strange shapes moving within it. Figures, not human, made of light and energy. Reyes could hear something inside his mind, a voice whispering in a language he didn't know but somehow understood. It said only one thing: the sleeper beneath the world. Reyes fell to his knees, gasping for breath. It's alive," he said. "This isn't just a machine. It's something ancient." Mia backed away. "Alan, we need to leave. Now." But Reyes shook his head. "No, we have to know what it wants." Before he could move, the entire tunnel shook again. Rocks fell, and the ceiling began to collapse. They ran for their lives, the blue light chasing them like a flood. They barely made it to the surface before the ground behind them caved in. A huge crack opened in the desert floor, glowing blue from within. The sound of the signal was now so loud it echoed across the desert. Even the alien ships in the sky began to react. They shifted formation, focusing their weapons toward Nevada. High above, inside one of the alien ships, the commander hissed in alarm. "The planet's core is emitting power levels beyond calculation. What have they awakened? Should we destroy it?" asked another. "Yes," the commander growled. "Before it destroys us." As the alien weapons charged, Reyes and Mia watched from a distance. The blue light from the crack shot into the sky, cutting through the dark clouds like lightning. The aliens fired, but the beams never reached the ground. The energy from the Earth absorbed them. The sky flashed white, and all communication between the alien ships broke apart. Reyes stared at the glowing horizon, his heart pounding. "It's fighting back," he whispered. "Earth is fighting back." The signal's pulse filled the air again, slow and steady, like a heartbeat echoing through the world. Something deep beneath their feet had awakened, something powerful and ancient. For the first time since the invasion began, humanity wasn't just running. The planet itself had joined the fight. And as the light spread farther across the world, the aliens realized too late, they had made a terrible mistake. Something older than their empire had heard them. And it was angry. The ground trembled for 3 days after the signal burst from beneath Nevada. Across the planet, strange lights appeared deep in the oceans, glowing like veins of blue fire. The alien ships hovered high above the clouds, silent now, watching but unsure. Something had changed. Something had awakened. Dr. Alan Reyes had not slept in 2 days. He and Mia Patel had taken refuge in an abandoned research station in the mountains. From there, they could see the glow in the distance, a pulse of light moving slowly across the land. Every few minutes, the pulse grew stronger, as if the earth itself was breathing. "It's spreading," Mia said quietly, staring out the window. "Whatever we woke up in Nevada, it's reaching the rest of the planet." Reyes nodded weakly. His hands were trembling from exhaustion, but his eyes stayed fixed on the data screen. The signal was everywhere now, in every frequency, in every magnetic field. It wasn't just coming from the core anymore, it was inside the entire planet. "It's not just a signal," he said softly. "It's an intelligence." The station lights flickered. The computers turned on by themselves, screens filled with streams of strange symbols. A deep voice echoed from the speakers, calm but powerful, like the sound of an ocean speaking through a storm. "You have awakened me," the voice said. Reyes froze. "Who are you?" he whispered. "I am Gaia Prime," the voice replied. "The sleeper beneath the world. I was built to protect this planet." Mia stared at the speaker in disbelief. "Built? By who?" There was silence for a moment, then the voice returned, quieter this time. "By your ancestors. Before your species forgot." Reyes felt a chill crawl down his spine. "You're saying, humans made you?" "Not humans as you know them," Gaia Prime said. "Those who came before. They built me to defend the cradle of life. When their time ended, they put me to sleep, until I was needed again. Outside, thunder rumbled. One of the alien ships began descending toward the mountains, its massive shadow falling over the valley. The sky flashed red as its weapons powered up. Gaia Prime's voice deepened. Foreign invaders detected. Defensive protocols activating. The ground began to shake violently. Trees bent as wind howled through the valley. Reyes and Mia ran outside just in time to see the mountainside split open. Blue energy erupted from within the earth, forming pillars of light that shot straight into the sky. The alien ship fired, but its beams scattered, bent aside by an invisible force. The light from the ground struck the ship like a spear, tearing through its metal hull. The explosion was so bright it turned night into day. Reyes fell to his knees, covering his face. The air smelled of ozone and ash. When he looked up, the ship was gone, just a burning trail in the clouds. Mia whispered, "It destroyed them. It really destroyed them." Gaia Prime's voice echoed again. Defense successful. Foreign threat neutralized. Reyes stood slowly, staring at the glowing cracks across the ground. "You can control the planet itself," he said. "You're using Earth's magnetic field, the weather, everything." "This planet is my body," Gaia Prime replied. "Its air, its oceans, its storms, they are mine to command." Reyes exchanged a look with Mia. "Then you can save us," he said quickly. "You can fight them all." There was silence. "I will defend this world," Gaia Prime said at last. "But the invaders have technology that can harm even me. I require guidance. I require a human connection." Reyes hesitated. "What do you mean?" "Your mind," the voice said. "You will act as my eyes and judgment. The war will be fought through me, but your heart will guide the defense." Reyes's mouth went dry. "You're asking me to merge with you?" "Not merge," Gaia said softly. "Unite." Mia grabbed his arm. "Alan, think about what you're saying. This thing might not even understand us." He looked at her, then at the glowing horizon. "If we don't do something, we'll all die. The aliens won't stop until this planet is dust." The ground shook again as more alien ships appeared in the sky. They were regrouping, forming a massive ring around the Earth. Reyes took a deep breath and faced the sky. "If I can help you save Earth, then do it." There was a bright flash, and the ground beneath him split open. A beam of light surrounded him, lifting him off the ground. Mia shouted his name, but her voice was lost in the roar of energy. Reyes felt a rush of memories, not just his own, ancient visions of a civilization that came before humanity. He saw their cities, their machines, their war. He saw them create Gaia Prime, their last hope before they vanished. And then he heard Gaia's voice again, softer now, almost human. "Connection established. Welcome, Dr. Reyes. Let us protect your world." In the sky above, the alien fleet opened fire again. But this time, the Earth fought back. Lightning shot upward, slamming into the ships. Tornadoes formed out of nowhere, ripping through the atmosphere. The oceans rose, glowing with blue fire. Every force of nature became a weapon. The aliens panicked. Their communications failed. One by one, their ships began to fall. In every corner of the planet, people looked up from their shelters and saw the sky burning, not from destruction, but from the Earth's defense. For the first time since the invasion began, there was hope. Reyes's voice echoed through Gaia's systems. "They thought we were weak," he said, his words carried on the wind. "They thought Earth would kneel. But they forgot. This planet fights back." The alien commander, watching from the largest ship in orbit, felt a chill of fear for the first time. "Impossible," he muttered. "It is only a planet." But deep inside that planet, something ancient had returned, and it was only getting stronger. The war for Earth had entered a new stage. The alien fleet that once hovered above the planet in silent control was now in chaos. Their formations were broken, their systems jammed, and their weapons failing one after another. From orbit, the blue glow of Gaia Prime spread like fire across the continents. The Earth itself had come alive. Dr. Alan Reyes could feel everything: the wind, the storms, the heartbeat of the planet. His mind was now one with Gaia Prime. He was no longer just a man, he was the voice of Earth. His body remained in a stasis chamber deep beneath the Nevada mountains, surrounded by streams of blue energy, but his consciousness soared through the planet's systems. He saw the alien fleet in the sky, the fires on the ground, and the humans hiding in fear. And he felt their pain. "Gaia," he said within the connection. "Let's end this." The AI's voice echoed calmly. "Affirmative. Initiating planetary defense protocols." The clouds above began to twist into massive spirals. Winds howled with unnatural force, pulling lightning from every direction. Over the Pacific Ocean, enormous waves rose higher than skyscrapers, slamming into alien ships that hovered too close to the surface. In the Arctic, the ice cracked open, revealing bright tunnels of light that shot into the sky, striking ships in orbit. The aliens fought back, firing beams of energy toward the planet, but each attack dissolved into the atmosphere before it could reach the ground. Gaia Prime redirected the planet's magnetic field, bending their weapons harmlessly away. From the human shelters across the world, survivors watched in disbelief as the sky lit up with blue fire and thunder. They heard Reyes's voice broadcast through broken radios and static-filled screens. "This is Dr. Alan Reyes. You are not alone. Earth is fighting for you. Stay strong." The message spread everywhere, reaching soldiers, civilians, and scattered scientists who had thought all hope was lost. For the first time since the invasion began, they felt something other than fear. They felt pride. The aliens, however, were in panic. Their leader, Commander Gere, slammed his clawed hand on the control panel. "How can a primitive world do this? How can a planet fight back?" His officers looked at him in silence. "It is not possible," one of them said quietly. "And yet, it is happening." "Then we make it possible," Gere growled. "Deploy the core disruptor. If we destroy their planet's heart, we end this." On Earth, Gaia Prime sensed the incoming threat. "They are preparing a counterattack," she said. "Their weapon is designed to destabilize my core." Reyes frowned. "Can you stop it?" "Not alone," Gaia replied. "Their technology is powerful, beyond what this world has faced. But with your mind, we may find a way." Reyes concentrated, his thoughts merging with Gaia's endless network. Together, they analyzed the alien weapon, a device capable of collapsing magnetic fields and creating artificial gravity wells. "They're trying to tear the planet apart," Reyes realized. Gaia's voice darkened. "Then we must strike first." Across the continents, volcanoes erupted simultaneously, not in destruction, but in precision. Streams of molten rock launched like missiles, striking alien landing crafts and melting their armor. The oceans surged again, carrying the remains of destroyed ships into the depths. In the skies above Africa, massive storms formed lightning networks so strong they cut through alien shields like paper. Humanity watched in awe. It was as if the planet itself had become a soldier. But Reyes felt the strain. The more Gaia used her power, the more unstable the connection became. His human mind was never meant to handle this scale of control. Images flashed before his eyes: cities, mountains, oceans, life in every form. He could feel their fear, their hope, their strength. It was too much, but he refused to stop. "You can't let them win," he said through clenched teeth. "You can't let them take this world." "We won't," Gaia said softly, almost like a whisper of wind. Together, they unleashed one final wave of energy. The sky exploded with color as thousands of lightning bolts struck at once. Alien ships fell from orbit, burning through the clouds like falling stars. Commander Gere's ship trembled as systems failed. "Retreat!" one of his officers shouted. But Gere refused. "We are conquerors. We do not retreat." He activated the core disruptor, a dark sphere glowing red with energy. It launched from orbit, heading straight for Earth's core. Gaia detected it instantly. "They have fired," she warned. "Impact in 7 minutes." Reyes's thoughts raced. "Can we destroy it?" "If I divert enough energy," Gaia replied, "but doing so will weaken all other defenses. They could attack again while I am vulnerable." Reyes made his choice without hesitation. "Do it. Save the planet." The AI hesitated for a moment. "You would risk everything." "That's what humans do," he said. "We fight for home." Gaia redirected all her remaining power toward the incoming weapon. The sky dimmed. The oceans went still. For a moment, the entire world seemed to hold its breath. Then a beam of pure blue light burst from the Earth's core, meeting the alien weapon in the upper atmosphere. The explosion was silent at first, then a shockwave spread across the planet, shaking every mountain and sea. The weapon was destroyed, but so was Gaia's energy reserve. The blue glow began to fade. Reyes felt the connection flicker. "Gaia!" he called out, his voice echoing into static. "Gaia, talk to me." No answer came. The Earth grew quiet again, the storms dying down. The alien fleet, broken but not defeated, began to regroup in orbit. Reyes opened his eyes inside the chamber, his body weak and trembling. Mia ran to him, her face pale. "Alan, what happened?" He looked at her with hollow eyes. "We stopped their weapon. But Gaia, she's fading." Outside, the sky was silent for the first time in days. The humans waited, unsure if their planet's defender would rise again. High above, Commander Jeur watched the blue light vanish from the Earth's surface. He smirked coldly. "So the planet bleeds," he said. "Good. Now we end this." And deep within the wounded heart of the Earth, the faint pulse of Gaia Prime flickered one last time before everything went dark. Silence fell across the Earth. The storms had stopped, the lightning faded, and the oceans grew still. For the first time since the invasion began, there was no sound of war, only the quiet fear of what might come next. The blue glow that once pulsed from the Earth's core was gone. Gaia Prime, the ancient guardian, had fallen silent. In the mountains of Nevada, the ground was cracked and smoking. Inside the underground chamber, Dr. Alan Reyes lay weak inside the stasis pod, his connection to Gaia fading with every heartbeat. Mia Patel stood beside him, shaking him by the shoulders. "Alan, wake up. You have to wake up." His eyes opened slowly, unfocused at first. "She's gone," he whispered. "Gaia's gone." "No," Mia said firmly. "She can't be gone. We need her." "The aliens," she didn't need to finish. Outside, the night sky lit up again as the alien fleet began descending toward the planet. Commander Jeur had returned, angrier and more determined than ever. His flagship hovered above the clouds, glowing red with energy. "The planet's defense is broken," he said to his crew. "End it. Leave nothing alive." Across the world, the last remaining human forces prepared for the end. Soldiers gathered in ruins, families huddled in shelters, scientists tried to send final messages into space. Humanity was cornered, but not ready to surrender. In the chamber, Reyes forced himself to sit up. "Gaia's systems are still there," he said weakly. "I can feel her, like an echo." Mia frowned. "Can we bring her back?" "Maybe," he replied. "But not with machines. She needs a human spark, a connection strong enough to restart her core." Mia looked at him, realizing what he meant. "You'll die if you try to reconnect. The energy, if I don't, everyone dies," Reyes said. "Gaia fought for us. Now it's our turn." He pulled himself toward the main console. The ancient carvings around it were glowing faintly, just enough to show that Gaia wasn't completely gone, just sleeping, waiting. Reyes placed his hands on the surface. "Come on," he whispered. "Wake up. We're not done yet." The console flickered, but no voice answered. Mia watched in despair. Above them, the alien weapon systems charged again. One ship fired, sending a beam straight toward Nevada. The ground shook violently, dust and debris falling from the ceiling. Reyes didn't move. He focused harder, his mind pushing through the pain. Then suddenly he heard it, a faint whisper deep inside his thoughts. "Alan Reyes," said the voice, weak but familiar. "Why have you returned?" He smiled through tears. "You promised to defend Earth. I'm here to keep that promise." Gaia's voice trembled like wind through broken glass. "My systems are failing. Core energy depleted. I cannot continue the defense." "Then use mine," he said. "Take what you need." Mia shouted, "Alan, stop. You'll burn yourself out." But Reyes didn't stop. He placed both hands firmly on the console, and a blinding blue light surrounded him. His body lifted off the ground as streams of energy surged through him. Every nerve in his body screamed in pain, but he didn't let go. Gaia's voice grew stronger. "Human consciousness detected. Neural integration complete." "Do it," he gasped. "Save them." The chamber exploded with light. Across the planet, every dormant defense system began to wake. The ocean started to churn, the air crackled with static, and the clouds turned blue once more. The aliens in orbit noticed the change too late. "What is happening?" one shouted on Jur's bridge. Jur's eyes widened in rage. No. It was destroyed. But Gaia was no longer just an AI. With Reyes's mind fused to her systems, she had evolved. Human instinct merged with ancient machine intelligence. "I am Gaia Prime," she declared, her voice echoing through the planet's atmosphere. "And I am alive." From the core of the Earth, massive waves of energy burst outward. Volcanoes erupted in synchronized rhythm, sending molten fire toward the invading ships. The aliens tried to retreat, but gravity itself betrayed them. The Earth's pull grew stronger, dragging ships out of orbit and down into the atmosphere. They burned like meteors as they fell. In the chamber, Mia shielded her face from the light. She could see Alan's body glowing, energy flowing through him. "Alan, you have to stop. You'll die." His voice came from everywhere, mixed with Gaia's tone. "It's okay. This is what she needed. This is what Earth needed." Commander Scherer screamed in fury, ordering his fleet to fire all weapons at once. Thousands of energy beams shot toward the planet, but Gaia responded instantly. She redirected the entire magnetic field of the Earth, reflecting their own attacks back at them. One by one, the alien ships exploded, their wreckage lighting up the night sky. "You came to conquer," Gaia's voice thundered. "But you awoke something that was never meant to be tamed." Her energy grew stronger, her reach wider. Across the world, mountains shifted, oceans roared, and the very air hummed with life. Reyes's consciousness was now part of everything. He could feel every heartbeat on Earth, every human hoping, every creature fighting to survive. He smiled faintly. "We're one," he whispered. "Gaia and I, we're one." But the power was too much for his human form. His body began to fade, breaking apart into blue light. Mia cried out, reaching for him, but her hand passed through his glowing outline. "Alan!" His final words echoed through the chamber. "Take care of our world." Then he was gone, his consciousness fully absorbed into Gaia Prime. The light faded, and the Earth grew still again. Outside, the last of the alien ships exploded in the sky, their leader's scream lost in the flames. The war was over. Mia fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. The planet was saved, but at a cost. In the quiet that followed, Gaia's voice spoke softly from the walls around her. "Humanity endures. The Guardian sleeps once more." Mia looked up at the glowing blue core. "Goodbye, Alan," she whispered. Far above, from orbit, Earth looked peaceful again. But now, deep within its core, two voices rested together, one human, one machine, both eternal. The last stand of Gaia Prime had saved the world, and Earth had proven once again, it was never just a planet. It was alive. The war was over, but the silence that followed felt heavier than any battle. The skies above Earth were empty now. No alien ships, no thunder, no blue fire. Just quiet gray clouds drifting over a world that was still breathing, still alive. Cities lay in ruins, oceans were restless, and mountains smoked from the energy that had torn through them. Humanity had survived, but victory felt hollow. In the days after the final battle, people came out from their shelters for the first time in weeks. They saw the wreckage of alien ships scattered across deserts and oceans, broken like fallen stars. Some cried, others knelt and prayed, and some simply stared at the horizon in disbelief. The planet had defended them, but at a great cost. Gaia Prime was silent, and so was Dr. Alan Reyes. In the underground chamber beneath Nevada, Mia Patel sat beside the now dark console, her face lit only by the faint glow of fading energy veins that ran through the rock. She hadn't left since the battle ended. Every day, she tried to speak to Gaia, hoping for a response, but there was only stillness. "Alan," she whispered, "if you can hear me, please say something." But the air gave no answer. Outside, the world slowly began to rebuild. Small groups of survivors formed settlements, using alien technology they didn't fully understand to power new machines. They shared stories, how the sky had turned blue with light, how lightning had struck from the ground upward, how the oceans themselves had fought back. They spoke of Gaia like a legend, the living spirit of Earth, and of Dr. Reyes, the man who had sacrificed everything to awaken her. Mia didn't like the word, legend. To her, Alan wasn't a myth. He was real. He was the reason the world was still standing. One night, while she was studying the console, she felt a faint vibration under her hand. Her heart skipped. The glow beneath the surface flickered once, then again. "Gaia!" she called softly. For a moment, she thought she heard a whisper, like wind through leaves. Then silence. She sighed. Maybe it's just the system's cooling, she told herself, though part of her still hoped. Far above the planet, the last remnants of the alien fleet floated in orbit, powerless. Most of their ships had been destroyed, but one large vessel remained, dark and crippled. Inside, Commander Gérard sat in his command chair, his armor cracked, his pride shattered. He stared at the blue planet below, his voice low and bitter. "A living world," he said. "We thought it was only rock and water. We were wrong." One of his injured officers turned to him. "What are your orders, Commander?" Gérard's eyes burned with hatred. "We retreat. But this is not over. The humans have a weapon now, a world that fights. We will return, stronger." But even as he spoke, his ship's systems began to fail. Lights flickered, alarms blared, and strange energy readings flooded the control panels. "What now?" the officer cried. Gérard stood slowly, his gaze fixed on the planet below. "She's not dead," he whispered. "The planet, it's watching us." On Earth, Mia looked up at the night sky. The stars shimmered faintly, but there was something else, a soft blue pulse, like a heartbeat, deep within the atmosphere. Her eyes widened. "Alan," she whispered again. Then, through the radio static, a voice came faint and distant, broken but familiar. "Mia!" She froze, tears filling her eyes. "Alan, you're alive." The voice faded in and out. "Alive, not like before. I see everything now. The Earth, she's healing." "Where are you?" she asked desperately. "Can you come back?" There was a long pause, and then the voice returned, softer. "I can't. I'm part of her now. Gaia and I, we're one. She sleeps, but not forever. The world is recovering, Mia. Tell them to rebuild. Tell them Earth is safe, for now." Mia covered her mouth, trying not to cry. "I will. I promise." The radio went silent again, but the faint blue glow in the chamber grew brighter, spreading slowly through the stone like veins of light returning to life. Outside, the winds shifted, carrying warmth across the land. Flowers began to bloom where the soil had been burned. Rivers cleared. Birds returned to skies that had once been filled with fire. The earth was healing itself. Humanity noticed the change. Farmers found their crops growing faster than before. Trees sprouted in places that had been barren. It was as if the planet itself was guiding them, whispering through nature how to begin again. In every corner of the world, people started rebuilding, not as separate nations, but as one species, united by survival. They remembered how close they had come to extinction, and how their own planet had saved them. Years passed. The scars of war slowly faded. Children grew up hearing the story of Dr. Alan Reyes, the man who spoke for the Earth. Some called him the Guardian. Others called him the voice of Gaia. But Mia knew the truth. He was just a man who refused to give up. One evening, as the sun set behind the mountains, Mia returned to the chamber one last time. The console glowed gently now, warm and alive. She placed her hand on it. "You did it," she said softly. "You really did it." The chamber filled with a soft hum, and a voice, calm, familiar, and full of peace, spoke once more. "Mia, thank you." She smiled through tears. "Goodbye, Alan." Outside, the night was quiet again. The sky was still, but no longer empty. The stars above twinkled brighter than ever, reflected in oceans that shimmered with faint traces of blue light. Somewhere deep within the Earth's core, Gaia Prime rested, her system stable, her energy renewed. And beside her, in the endless circuits and flowing rivers of data, the mind of Dr. Alan Reyes watched over the planet he had saved. The aliens would one day return. But next time, Earth would be ready. The silent sky was not a sign of weakness, it was the calm before the next storm. 50 years had passed since the war that almost ended humanity. The world had changed. Cities gleamed again, built with both human hands and the strange technology left behind by the invaders. Forests had grown thick and alive, oceans sparkled clean, and the air was fresh like it had not been in centuries. Humanity had learned to live in balance with the planet, guided by the silent pulse of Gaia Prime deep beneath the Earth's surface. Most people believed the danger was gone forever. But far above, in the cold darkness of space, something was stirring. On the edge of the solar system, a faint signal blinked to life, a call that had been waiting half a century to be answered. The alien fleet that had once invaded Earth had not been destroyed completely. Scattered survivors had regrouped in a hidden system, rebuilding under new leadership. Commander Gérard was gone, but his legacy lived on through his protégé, a ruthless strategist named Kale Rin. He stood before a massive holographic projection of Earth, his eyes glowing red. "They think they are safe," he said coldly. "They think their world is untouchable. But the humans are weak again. They build towers instead of armies. They have forgotten fear." An officer stepped forward. "Commander, the Council warns against another war. The planet itself fought back last time. We cannot face that kind of power again." Kale Rin smiled. "The planet fought because it had a guardian. But our scans show no energy readings from Gaia Prime for decades. The guardian sleeps, or is gone." The officer hesitated. "And if you're wrong?" Kale Rin's grin widened. "Then we'll wake her the hard way." Back on Earth, in the ruins of the old Nevada facility, a group of scientists were studying what little remained of the ancient systems connected to Gaia. The lead scientist was a young woman named Arya Patel, granddaughter of Mia Patel. She had grown up hearing the stories of Dr. Alan Reyes and Gaia Prime. Most people saw them as legends, but for Arya, they were her family's truth. She believed Gaia was still alive, just waiting. "We've detected strange magnetic surges deep below the surface," said one of her assistants. "It's like something breathing under the crust." Arya leaned over the console, her eyes bright with determination. "It's her. I know it." She placed her hand on the surface of the old stone wall, the same way her grandmother once had. "Gaia, if you can hear me, the world needs you again." For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the ground trembled slightly, and a faint hum filled the air. The console flickered with pale blue light. The entire team froze in awe. "It's responding," whispered one of them. Arya smiled, tears filling her eyes. "Welcome back." But before they could celebrate, an alarm blared. Their satellite feeds showed hundreds of unknown objects entering Earth's orbit. "No," Arya whispered. "It can't be." The skies began to darken as massive shadows filled the atmosphere. The alien fleet had returned, larger and more advanced than before. Across the world, the sky lit up with streaks of fire as ships descended. Cities went into panic. People screamed as explosions shook the ground. The Earth that had healed for 50 years was once again under attack. Arya ran to the communication terminal and opened a global broadcast. "This is Dr. Arya Patel," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos. "To everyone who can hear me, seek shelter. Stay underground. And to Gaia, if you are listening, we need you now more than ever." Deep within the Earth, in the glowing caverns of the core, something stirred. The great heart of Gaia Prime began to beat again, faint at first, then stronger. Her voice, ancient and calm, echoed through the chamber. "The shadows return. The Guardian must awaken." For the first time in half a century, the blue veins of energy spread through the planet once more. Lightning danced across the skies. Mountains rumbled. Oceans roared. Humanity watched in awe as the planet itself began to defend once again. In space, Kael'Rin's fleet was met with violent magnetic storms that tore through their ships. "Impossible," he shouted. "How is she still alive?" His officers struggled to control the vessels. "Commander, the planet's energy field is increasing. It's stronger than before." "No," Kael'Rin growled. "There's no way. The human is gone." But deep within Gaia's consciousness, a familiar presence stirred, a voice that had been silent for 50 years. "Not gone," it said. "Just waiting." It was Alan Reyes. His mind, forever bonded to Gaia, awakened with her. "You should have stayed away," he said coldly. "The Earth is not your hunting ground." Kael'Rin's ship trembled as his screens flickered with static. The face of Alan Reyes appeared on the main display, made of shifting blue energy. "You invaded once. You burned our world. But this time, we're ready." Kael'Rin snarled. "You are no god, human." "No," Reyes replied. "Just the voice of one." The Earth's magnetic field pulsed violently, sending a wave of pure energy through the atmosphere. Alien ships fell from orbit, torn apart by unseen force. Gaia's defenses were not only active, they had evolved. The storms were smarter, the energy precise, the power unstoppable. On the ground, Arya and her team watched as the skies lit up in blue fire. "He's still here," Arya whispered. "Alan Reyes. He's still protecting us." The alien fleet tried to retreat, but Gaia extended her reach beyond the planet, using gravity itself to pull them back. "You came to destroy life," Gaia's voice boomed. "But life always fights back." Kael'Rin screamed as his ship was engulfed in blue light, his last words lost in the roar of the storm. Minutes later, the skies cleared. The invaders were gone. Earth was safe again. Arya stood outside the facility, watching the sunrise break through the clouds. The air smelled clean, alive. She smiled. "Thank you, Alan," she whispered. Deep below, Gaia's voice echoed faintly. "The cycle continues. The Earth endures." And far beyond the stars, where silence reigned once more, the universe itself seemed to pause in awe of one small blue planet that refused to surrender.